Right, I know what you're thinking. Where was the video? Straight away after the game last night, but I've got to be honest with you lot. I'm absolutely hanging out my arse because after a game like last night's one, there's only one thing you can do, and that is sink a few beers. But I've got to be honest with you, I'm not bothered about us taking the early lead. I'm not bothered about the last minute comeback. I'm not even bothered about the Cole Palmer hat-trick because something very, very special and way more important than any of that happened last night. Mason Mount. Do you remember him? The fella from Portsmouth. He turned his back on Chelsea, didn't he? The second he saw a bit of trouble on the horizon. A player who, by the way, I still firmly believe would have played more or less every single minute available to him under Mauricio Pochettino, much like we have seen this season from Conor Gallagher. A player who didn't realise that Man United's season last season, which, let's be honest, went quite well, pretty much came down to the fact that Marcus Rashford was in red-hot form. Rather than the fact or the non-fact that Erik ten Hag is some sort of tactical mastermind. And for those reasons, because Mason Mount couldn't see that, he chose to jump ship and go to Man United. He played for United the other day, he scored for United the other day, tapped the United badge, didn't he, after he scored the goal, as if he's not already thinking about jumping ship from there. But last night was beautiful because Mason Mount was given, in my opinion, the perfect reception from Chelsea fans. When he came on the pitch, his team, Man United, were leading 3-2 with just a matter of minutes to go. He would not hold on to the ball for love nor money. Absolutely shit the bed every single time the ball came to him because he didn't want to hear the boos from the Chelsea fans. And within about 10 minutes of him being on the pitch, Man United combusted and Chelsea went on to win the game 4-3. After the final whistle, by the way, Enzo Fernandez, who played about half a season's worth of football with Mason Mount, very much told him where he can stick it. Oh, it must have been horrible. Them poor Man United fans, man. They thought they had victory and they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. They then would have had to brace the weather and make the long trip home from Stamford Bridge all the way up to wherever in London they live. Hold on, I've just realised I said I wasn't bothered about the Cole Palmer hat-trick. That's a lie. I'm very much bothered about the Cole Palmer hat-trick. So let's speak about it. Let's talk about the match. Let's get into it. But before we get into all that, I want to ask you lot a question. Are you feeling lucky? Because if you are, I am going to offer you the chance to win big this weekend. I say I'm going to offer you the chance. StakeMate, the sponsors of today's video, are going to offer you the chance, and they're going to offer you that chance with a £5 free bet. Here's what you need to do. Hit the link in the description to this video. That is going to take you to the App Store where you can download the StakeMate app. When you've got it, you want to use my discount code, which is Joey5. That is going to get you your £5 free bet, and then you can put on your accumulator for this weekend's football. But what have I gone for in my accumulator? 4 games from Saturday, all 3 o'clock kickoffs. Starting off, I am going Aston Villa to get a win over Brentford. I'm then going to back Everton to get a win over relegation rivals Burnley. Then I'm going to go Newcastle to get an away win at Craven Cottage against Fulham. And finally, I am going to back Luton Town to beat Bournemouth. And at the time of recording, by placing my £5 free bet, I have the chance at winning just under 120 quid. The chance to win £120 by not even placing any of my own money. You don't get better value than that, do you? Now, if you haven't already used StakeMate, I can vouch that this is the simplest, the easiest app that I have used for any of my betting. And one thing that I absolutely love about this app, you know, is the squads feature. The squads feature allows you to chat and swap bets with some of your friends and even punt on the same bets. I have just sent my accumulator from this weekend to Josh, and if he has any sense, he's going to stick his free fiver on the exact same thing. So once again, hit the link in the description, download the StakeMate app, and use my code Joey5 for your £5 free bet. Please remember that StakeMate is a betting app, meaning that you do need to be 18 years old or over to use it. You do need to be living inside the UK, and most importantly, you need to remember to gamble responsibly. Thank you again to StakeMate for sponsoring another video. Let's get into it. Right, so you can see the starting lineup on your screen now, and I've got to give Mauricio Pochettino a little bit of credit, because at least it sort of feels like he's starting to take notice of what us, the Chelsea fans, want. It looks like he's starting, when he's picking these teams and formations and whatnot, he's learning, yeah? There's no Colwell at left back. I mean, Colwell's not fit and available. If he was, he probably would play him left back, but there's no Colwell at left back anymore. We're starting to see more players playing in their natural positions, and we're starting to see lineups that the fan base are in favour of. Because last night I couldn't have really picked a better lineup considering the injuries we've got. Petrovic in goal, Gusto, Disasi and Badiashile as the centre-back pairing. I mean, we conceded 3 goals. We didn't really play that well in terms of our defence either way, but Cucurella left back, Caicedo and Enzo the pivot, Cole Palmer on the right, Gallagher through the middle, Mudryk starting on the left with Jackson up top. I was happy to see Mudryk start in this match. I'm very much in favour of Mudryk now having a run of games between now and the end of the season, and let's see what we can get out of him. If Mudryk could produce the moments of brilliance he does, maybe twice as much as he does, it'd still only be looking good for probably 50% of the match, you know. But I'll tell you what, there's enough moments of magic in that 50% to probably be able to produce some goals and assists. Chelsea make pretty much the perfect start, opening the scoring on the 4th minute through Conor Gallagher. The ball is cut back. Malo Gusto is becoming a signature trait of him now. Anything good coming down that right-hand side is a signature trait of Malo Gusto. I absolutely fucking love the boy. He cuts it back. He gets a deflection on it. And then Conor Gallagher shoots more or less straight at Onana, pretty low in the goal. And if you do them things, you're probably going to score against Onana. He is a shocking goalkeeper. Sorry, Man United fans. There's probably not many of you watching. You're probably all crying in your London homes. What happened after that? We won the penalty, didn't we? Obviously, Mudryk again feeding a nice little ball through to Cucurella. He gets the wrong side of Anthony. Anthony fouls him. Feel a little bit bad for Anthony? No, I don't feel bad for Anthony. I don't know why I even said that. But what I am saying is, I feel a little bit bad for Anthony in the way that he didn't actually have a bad game. He was playing pretty well in the start of the game. He brings Cucurella down. There's only one man to take the penalty. We sub Raheem Sterling on. Joking. You would know that because you'll watch the game. We didn't sub him on. We played Cole Palmer, obviously. And when Cole Palmer plays, Cole Palmer takes penalties. Cole Palmer scores penalties. I said to my friend, Frank, right? He's a Man United fan. And he was travelling down to the game from London. And I said, right, that, mate, we will definitely get 1 penalty in this match. I said we'd probably get 2. We did get 2 in the end. But anyway, 2-0 up. Things are looking good. But you know what? Again, I'm sort of not comfortable in that position because we know that the sort of weak underbelly is something Chelsea have shown time in, time out this season. All it takes is 1 goal and then our heads start to go down a little bit. And that's exactly what happened. You know, I've defended Moises Caicedo a lot this season. I've said that there's been a few individual errors, mistakes, and a lot of them have come at times because he hasn't had a tight, sort of watertight supportive defence behind him and he's been forced into these mistakes. Listen, Badiashile could have done better, I think, maybe, but yeah, Moises Caicedo, bad pass, just put it back to Petrovic, he didn't. Garnacho runs onto it, nice cool finish, it was pretty good to be fair. Not long after, Man United get another goal. This time it is Dalot. On the far-hand side, he whips the ball in, and Bruno Fernandes, of all people, scoring a header at the back post. Not good. Not good once again from Chelsea. You know, like, Badiashile and Disasi, they're so much better than Thiago Silva in terms of progressing the ball quicker. You're probably going to score more goals when you got them two as your centre-back pairing, but I don't know, Thiago Silva's a better defender than both of them two. So, let's see. I don't know. I can't really see Pochettino now going back to Thiago Silva. So, I don't really know. We go in at half-time 2-2, and at this point, I've pretty much admitted defeat, you know, because I'm looking at things and I'm thinking every single second half, barring 1 or 2 of them this season, we've come out and been worse. We really have. And Man United normally get better in the second half. That's one thing I've got to give them. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking this could be a 4-2 or something at this point, and I'm absolutely fuming at the boys because once again, I feel like they fucked this one. They hadn't fucked it. Second half starts, same vein. End to end. Again, I'm not feeling massively confident. We do look a little bit less creative than the first half. Even when I looked at the clock, it was only 55 minutes or so, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I'd make some changes, man. And that's the thing with Pochettino and his changes. And we'll speak about his subs because I thought they were decent, actually, the way it unfolded. But, like, Jose Mourinho makes a sub at half time. I know I'm always going back to Jose here, but he'd make a sub at half time there. You know, he would pull people off in the 15th minute if they didn't think he was having a good game. So either way, second half starts pretty quietly. After Anthony giving away that penalty, he does somewhat redeem himself because he does a Ricardo Quaresma pass, sort of outside of the foot, curling over the top. Garnacho gets on the end of it. Header, 3-2, boring. We're not bothered about Man United's goals. We're bothered about Chelsea's goals. And then Pochettino does start looking to his bench. And at this point, I've turned around to my pal that I'm watching the game with, and I've said, I feel like we need Chukwuemeka on and we need Raheem Sterling on. Now listen, people will go, oh, you don't like Raheem Sterling. I don't dislike Raheem Sterling. Do I want him at the club next season? Probably not. Probably not. If we're looking at his wages and we're thinking we could move him on, we could potentially even get some Saudi money for him, something like that. And I think we're a better starting 11 without him. But subs off the bench are important. And as much as it's important, you know, to bring on fresh legs, young wonder kids that can run at people, I think experienced players coming off the bench is something that's massively, massively underrated, you know. And I think Raheem Sterling done a good job coming off the bench against Burnley, assisting for Cole Palmer. I think he did a good job coming off the bench last night. Kane Chukwuemeka is a man that if you've watched the channel, especially if you've watched it from the start, you know, big up to you lot that have, you'll know I love him. And he came on off the bench. So I was pretty happy with that. However, 5 minutes or so later, when Mauricio Pochettino makes his next set of subs, I'm a little bit confused because we need to get back into the game and he puts on two defenders. He puts on Trevor Chalobah and he puts on Alfie Gilchrist. Now, Alfie Gilchrist came on for Malo Gusto. I understand that. Malo Gusto went down in the game against Burnley and he was a doubt whether he would be able to start or not in this match. Thank God he did because he was pretty brilliant. But Trevor Chalobah for Disasi, like for like, innit, really? Trevor Chalobah's probably got less of a mistake in him. So, yeah, had no problem with that. At this sort of time, Mason Mount comes on. Well, about 10 minutes later. Mate, the boos were bad. But you know when they're bad but they're good? Yeah, they were good boos. I liked them. I liked them a lot. Yeah, Mount shit himself. Wearing that number 7 shirt, he couldn't be further from Beckham, could he? Noni Madueke, this was the most important sub. He comes on in the 89th minute. And in the 89th minute, after bringing him on, Mauricio Pochettino sees the substitute win us a penalty. Noni Madueke gets the ball on the edge of the box. He does what pretty much only him, you know, is able to do. You know, Mudryk can take on a man down the side when it's at pace, but in terms of just having the ball at his feet and then taking a man on, Mudryk don't really do it. Noni Madueke does. When Noni Madueke done it this time, Diogo Dalot crashes through the back of him. We get a penalty. Cole Palmer scores it. You know the drill. And at that point, 3-3. Chelsea have come back now. We should probably be pretty happy. Both teams, if before the game you had offered them a point, I think would have taken it. But Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer have different ideas. We win a corner kick. Enzo plays it quick to Cole Palmer. He smashes it in. Deflection on the way through. Doesn't matter. We win 4-3. Oh my God. That was fucking epic. And should I tell you the worst part about all of this? Mate, the worst part about last night is me and my 3 pals were supposed to be going last night. And some absolute helmet let us down for the tickets just before the game. Tragic. I was losing my shit on the phone to that fella. Yeah, I don't know. But last night was so good, man. So good. Best win of the season, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. What does it mean for Chelsea, this win? Well, we're back on page 1. I'm very happy to be on page 1. Never liked being on page 2. Page 3. Not so much nowadays, but when I was growing up. But yeah, page 1. We're back on page 1. That's good. And people will banter because Chelsea are celebrating about being up to 10th, right? But if we were to win our game in hand, right? If we were to play our game in hand tonight and we were to win it tonight, I don't think we would. Think tired legs. But if we were to play our game in hand tonight and we were to win our game in hand tonight, we go 2 points behind Man United. We would jump 3 places up to 7th, right? Man United, by the way, play Liverpool on Sunday. You'd imagine they're not picking up points in that game, especially after how they defended last night. So if they were to come away with no points, we'd be 2 points behind them. Level on games, yep. But even if we were to concede, right, that we were to finish below Man United this season, because they have got a knack of getting over the line in certain games, we just got to look at Brighton, Newcastle, West Ham, who are above us in the table at the moment, and we've got to make sure we accrue more points than them until the end of the season, right? Because Brighton and West Ham, we've still got to play both of them. Come on, I know we've had a shit season. I know we've drawn with Burnley and we've lost to teams we should have never even had a sniff of losing to. But you've got to think, Brighton, we come up against them. We beat them already earlier on in the season. I don't think they're the Brighton the season's gone by. I don't think they're a team that we can't get points over. We should be beating them even away from home, man. We've got enough about us, surely, to be able to do it. West Ham, we lost to them earlier on in the season, but again, I think they're on a decline. Around the time that we're going to be playing West Ham, sandwiched in between two, is it the quarterfinals? Or it'd be the quarterfinals now, wouldn't it, of the Europa League, where they're playing Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen. They're two hard games. They're going to run their legs into the ground, and they're going to have tired legs, injuries, tired minds. Brighton, they got to play Arsenal, City, and Chelsea of 3 out of their next 4 games. Newcastle have injuries coming out their ears. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? We need to capitalise. Something can be done here. Something can happen. And Chelsea could write off all the bad work, all the ups and downs, all the uncertainty, all the negativity, all the poor attitude and poor performances this season. We could nullify it all. We could cancel it all out by finishing strong. Could you imagine, right? Our next 2 games, we have got in our next 2 games. Where are our next 2 games? I know we've got an easy 2. We've got Sheffield next. Who's after that? Everton at home. Sheffield United away, Everton at home. Don't sit here and tell me that shouldn't be 6 points. Yes, on this season's form, it's probably going to be 4 points, maybe 3, maybe 1 loss, 1 draw. But it should be 6 points. It should be 6 points in them games. And then when I've told you about the fixtures that the teams in and around us have got, the fact that Man United have got to go to Old Trafford, it is at all them London fans making the trip all the way up to Old Trafford. That's going to be a hard one for them. They got to go to Old Trafford and play against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool for the last time ever, by the way, under Jurgen Klopp. Probably last time ever. Last time, definitely, for a while. They got to play Liverpool, who are chasing the title down. They're not going to pick up points there. Man United are going to get beat there. All these teams above us, none of the teams above us are on the rise at the minute. They're all sort of there from the work they've done sporadically this season, as Chelsea are, by the way. But what I'm saying is not just Chelsea. If Wolves hit fire right now, if Newcastle, if West Ham, if any of these teams around us hit fire right now, they could make a last chance chase for European football. It can happen, and I genuinely do believe that it will happen. Have I gone mad? Am I too gassed up off of last night? Oh, I don't know. I really, really don't know. What I do know is man of the match for me is going to have to go to the golden boy, Cole Palmer. Absolutely unreal, this boy. Let me just pull up the stats right now. Cole Palmer stats. I know he's above Bellingham now, mate. 16 goals and 8 assists in 25 games. What's that? 24 goal involvements in 25 games. By the way, that's not 25 starts. I remember him coming off the bench against Nottingham Forest. I remember him coming off the bench against Bournemouth. I remember him coming off the bench against Aston Villa. Oh my God, this boy is absolute magic. And you know what? It's mad, isn't it? He probably won't start for England. He probably won't. Right wing, Saka. Centre attacking mid, Jude Bellingham. A man who has less numbers, goals and assists, contributions than Cole Palmer this season. Madness. Absolutely mad. Never did I think when we splashed out that deadline day 45 million or 40 million, whatever it was, on Cole Palmer, never, ever did I think that he would have this sort of impact. He's unreal. He's absolutely unreal. And I'll tell you what, listen, I don't mean to put a negative spin on this, man, but we need to get our act together. We need a manager that can propel this team on. Is it Pochettino? I don't know. If I'm going to be completely honest with you lot, I still am not convinced. Last night's not really done anything to convince me. A lot of people will say, well, hold on, Pochettino's setting the team up in the right way. It's individual errors like Caicedo's and like all the ones we've seen this season that cost us. And it is. But when it happens, when it's a repeated process, you do need to look at the manager, I believe. But But yeah, we need to get things in line to really incentivise the likes of a Cole Palmer to stay here. Because if we carry on mid-table for a couple of seasons, Cole Palmer's not staying. He could play for Real Madrid, mate. Malo Gusto's not playing. He could not staying. Sorry, he'd be playing somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to put a negative spin on this, and I understand I am. So maybe I'll just fucking cut this. But we need to get our act together and have more nights like last night at Stamford Bridge under the lights. Oh my God, I'm absolutely buzzing. People, I want to know your lot's thoughts. Let me know if you were at the game. Let me know what the atmosphere was like. Let me know what you think Chelsea can do from here. We've had so many good performances and we haven't been able to kick on like we would have hoped. So let me know what you think. Do you think we will kick on from here? Or do you think we'll see another sort of below par performance after this one? Just a quick one, people. Sheffield United. I will be getting a post-match review done and up as soon as the game goes out. So once the game finishes, you will have that post-match review from me. However, I probably won't be able to get a preview up for you guys because I'm about to go away. Obviously, any of you lot that have been following the boxing journey will know that obviously I've been fighting. I fought in Leeds at the start of the year. I fought out in Nashville, Tennessee, in America a couple of weeks ago. And obviously for me, that means spending a lot of time away from my family, man. And you know, that's the thing that's most important to me. So I am having a weekend away now with my daughter. And I'm just going to have a little bit of downtime. But I will be back Sunday. I will be back for the post-match review. I cannot wait for that one. I will see you all in the next one.